Home Box Office presents Stopwatch, 30 minutes of investigative ticking. Our program will examine the new wave in American religion, nun boxing.
Sister Agnes Sophia, a very good nun, a sweet nun, a face begging to be punched.
Inconceivable as it may seem, there is a blind man who trains seeing eye dogs. How does he do it? Stopwatch will show you.
Oh, boy, we're getting somewhere.
Most convicts serve time in prison. We'll look at a criminal serving his sentence with the family he robbed.
I don't get any help either. They sit there on their fancy couches listening to their TV, watching prison shows all the time.
Countries around the world owe the United States billions of dollars. We'll visit with a man who collects these debts for us.
Well, you take like Mexico, for example. They owe us over 80 billion in debts. Now, nobody's going to say, hey, give us Baja, we'll call it even, huh?
I'm Larry Hansen.
I'm James Lariat.
I'm Brian Fitzgerald.
I'm Bruno Toch.
I'm Pedro Peldocar.
I'm Griswold Van Pelt.
I'm Han Chong Young.
I'm B.B. Chink Romani.
I'm Lyle Delisle.
I'm Ingmar Stroop.
I'm Dominic Griffington.
I'm Toots Brandon.
I'm Ron Ramsgate, and this is
Chris Mantok.
Those other gentlemen before us have nothing whatsoever to do with the show.
They're just friends of ours.
Welcome to Stopwatch, 30 minutes of investigative ticking.
We've all seen this before, a blind man and his seeing eye dog. But recently we met an extraordinary man who trains these special dogs. His name is Jimmy Castron. And the fascinating part of his story is that Jimmy Castron himself is blind. Well, tell me, Jimmy, why does a blind man undertake the training of seeing eye dogs?
Well, who else but a blind person can transmit his special feelings to a dog? You see, a dog senses his dilemma and immediately knows he's with a person who's dependent on him. There is no deception here, Chris.
He showed me how he starts the training of a new dog.
Which way you want to go? This way. Which way? That's a good... That's good. This is all part of the training process. Learning, hitting, crumbling.
Did that hurt?
Nope. Let's start off again. That's it. This is all...
That's okay. All right.
I'm fine.
Well, here, let me help you. Here, you've got a table on your foot.
I have what?
You have a table on your foot.
It's quite all right.
Let me help you here.
That's it. Last week I had a chair. Now it's a table.
As he started for the door, I asked him if the dog was really ready for outside training.
He's definitely working.
Months later, our cameras spent the day with the same dog, and we were startled at the results.
The dog barked once to stop, and twice to go. A paw on the shoulder was the blind man's signal to turn.
Well, there you have it. Jimmy Castron, a daring and courageous man who painfully uses his own affliction to help mankind. There he goes, training another one.
This is the Church of the Immaculate Saints in Twin Cedars, Nebraska. This is a bingo card. Since 1935, the church has been raising money from its regular Wednesday night bingo games. But now, instead of bingo cards, this church is passing out fight cards. Why?
Well, we noticed that attendance was off at bingo, and we concluded that people just didn't want to leave their homes at all, unless it was for something special or different. We have to keep up with the times, you know.
Sister, isn't nuns boxing sacrilegious?
Oh, no, my son. God doesn't mind at all. We think of him as the big promoter in the sky.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our main event. In this corner, the angelic stallion, Sister Agnes Sophia. And in this corner, from our own parish, the Virgin Mauler, Sister Mary Margaret.
We decided to attend a Friday night fight.
Let's talk nun to man for a moment here. Isn't what you're doing promoting violence in the church?
Oh, no, my son. It's not violence at all. We hardly touch each other.
Cost me $20.
I'd love to fight a rabbi. I'll knock his yarmulke from here to kingdom come. What they're doing is not painful at all. Put out your hand. Let me hit it with a ruler. Let's talk pain.
Ever since the first MX missiles were built, the government has had a problem on where to house them. Some suggested they be put underground in Utah. Others suggested they be stored in movable railroad cars. The controversy continues, but the fact is that MX missiles are in service at this time, and we at Stopwatch have found out where. What seems to be an ordinary house is really a deadly missile launching pad. What seems to be a strange chimney is in reality an MX missile. How did this weapon get here? Obviously not by accident. Well, Mr. Jackson, how does it feel to have a deadly missile in your living room?
Good. Very good. Let me show you around this thing. Nice, huh?
Would you consider this an extremely high risk, a missile in the living room? Come on.
Not really. You could get hit by a car.
Or slip on salt in the bathtub.
Okay. What about your neighbors? Do they know that you have this gigantic thing protruding through the roof of your house here?
Oh, absolutely not. Top secret.
Wait a minute, what is this over here on the wall? A map of Russia? And a missile? What do you have a map of Russia on your wall for?
Oh, that's so we'll know where our baby is going. We're going to hit Minsk.
Minsk.
Go ahead, press it.
Timmy, get away from that red button.
Red button.
Test telephone switch to arm, light on.
My God.
Switching command to internal.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Not to worry, we have a fail-safe system. See, we always make it. Sure was exciting. It was scorched linoleum in the basement again.
How many times must I tell you not to start a nuclear war?
There you have it.
And I've had it. Excuse me.
How does the government pick these people to be missile holders? We did some checking around. We also discovered that the 1,200 families who house these missiles are the same as those TV ratings people who decide what you watch on television.
This is Slats Devereaux, a convicted burglar who is serving 2 to 5 years at 1124 Elm Street, the very house that he robbed. How did this come to be?
Well, Slats stole $10,000 from us and spent it all on who knows what. So the judge ordered him to work it off, and I must say he's done a very good job. Oh, Slats, don't forget the sheets and the children's sheets upstairs and those dirty rags out in the garage.
Yes, ma'am, I'll get all them dirty rags in the garage out there.
Oh, and Slats, don't forget to call about my beauty appointment tomorrow, and please wash the windows on both sides.
Both sides. I'll make that beauty appointment. God knows you need it.
Oh, and Slats, dear. Dinner is promptly at 6. And we're having 23 people. Now, I think a little quiche might be fine.
No.
All right. Now, don't fuss. Don't fuss. Just toss a little veal Monterey together. Good boy.
23.
Slats, what are you getting out of this program?
Heartache. That's all I'm getting here. I'm telling you, Chris, it's just a whole lot of heartache. I mean, just take a little look at all the work they got me doing around here. Anyway, I'd just like to hear somebody say one time, Slats, we want to thank you very much for not leaving a ring around the tub.
I never saw anybody work as hard as you do, Slats.
Try a little of this.
Thank you. Thank you
That's
very
my
much.
own recipe. Prison cook taught me that. It's made out of toilet paper.
Mrs. Fleischer, aren't you afraid that Slats will get fed up and make a break for it?
Oh, no. We keep a close watch on him at all times. We have locks on all the doors and windows and a little gate out in the back that's electrified.
Does he know about that?
Not yet. But I'm sure we'll hear about it. Plus, my husband stands guard over him.
Oddly enough, another convict was serving his time next door.
How's it going, Monroe?
Okay. What's on for tonight?
Oh, you're not going to believe this one. Veal Monterey for 23.
I've got to make homemade pasta.
Oh, you poor man. I'm sorry.
The men secretly discussed the hazards of house imprisonment.
Now they've got me playing horsey.
I hope they don't have me playing horsey.
Charmaine?
Luke. Hey, yo, Monroe. Monroe, go faster before I step on your head. Go, Monroe, go.
Oh, Lord.
Each night, Slats prayed for better sleeping quarters.
Slats, dear, it's lights out. Tomorrow is another busy day.
Shortly after doing this story, we were informed that Slats Devereaux chose to go back to prison and serve out the rest of his sentence at hard labor.
Ready, aim, fire!
In these troubled times, faith healing is in full swing. Now, preachers across America are claiming they can heal the sick, mend the body, and the donations just keep pouring in. This is a taping of a most unusual faith-healing ceremony.
Oh, the Lord is really with me here tonight. I feel it. I feel the power to heal. So come on up here, all you horrible-looking things, all you miserable-looking creatures, all you ugly little eyesores, because the Lord is going to do a job on you.
That's the Reverend Dillard Fleming, who claims through him God does plastic surgery.
What's the matter with you, dear? As if I didn't know.
I want a new nose.
Well, of course you do, when the Lord wants you to have it. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
Then the Lord rebukes this nose. He casts it out and gives you a new one. Oh. You've got a new nose.
It's a miracle. Oh. Oh. It's a miracle. Oh. Oh. Thank you. Oh.
She's going to break a lot of Christian hearts.
We went to the ministry of the good-looking television studio to investigate his miracles.
Proof. Nothing simpler. I'll have you meet my wife, Bonnie. She's been completely overhauled. Bonnie, come on in here. Let this man see the Lord's work. Oh, this way, sweetheart. There she is, and the bright lights in full bloom. How's this? Look at this, solid as a rock. That's what I call a rump lift.
She seems to smile a lot.
Well, she's happy. Aren't you, sweetheart?
I'm happy. I'm very happy.
Oh, praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Sit down, sweetheart. Isn't she something else?
Yes, but is this God's work? We have information that tells us that your wife visited the Mendoza Nip and Tuck Clinic in Tijuana, Mexico, 3 weeks ago.
Yes, she's looking for a maid.
Our behind-the-scenes stopwatch camera exposed the Reverend's so-called nose miracle.
He's going to cast it out and give you a new one. Oh, you got a new nose.
Oh, it's a miracle.
We also caught the Reverend as he was taping the healing of a hunchback.
I say, give me the power and the fan. Item. Props. Balloon to break. What's the matter here? I can't get a balloon that is breaking. I'm on in front of 1,000 people. I got sets. I'm under the hot lights. What is it? Why didn't you give me this pin a little while ago, huh? Why didn't you give it to me earlier? See, like that. That's what I want. Fast. I want my miracles fast. Like that. Just like that. All right, now I need a new home.
Well, after we unmasked Reverend Fleming's twin nieces and brother-in-law, the hunchback, the Reverend suddenly left town, moved his church to Flagstaff, Arizona. Well, he has a new ministry now. It's called the Church of the Divine Auto Repair.
It's a well-known fact that only Finland paid back its World War I debt to the United States. And things haven't gotten any better in the decades since. Obviously, the United States would be a lot better off if we could get those nations who owe us money to pay up. That's where this man comes in. His name? Murray Resnick. His occupation? Collection agent. But unlike other agents who put the bite on individuals, Murray Resnick puts the bite on foreign governments.
You see, the United States government knows how to give money away, they just don't know how to get it back, right? Listen, when a president owes you money, you gotta talk to him like a friend. You know what I mean?
Murray, I've got Mexico for you on 4, Ecuador's on 3, and... Well, I had Guatemala on 2, but the damn line went dead.
Hiya, Generalissimo. Hiya, sweetheart. It's Murray. Murray Resnick from the money. Yeah. This guy's always got a story. Yeah? Will you promise me a payment by the 3rd? Yeah, I heard about the coup. Yeah. What'd I tell you? What? Cholera? Yeah, I know you got cholera. We all got cholera. But still, you can send me a little something.
Resnick received word that an African ambassador, whose country owes us $150 billion, was about to skip out on him.
Oh, see, there he is, see? Look, he's trying to make a getaway.
What are you going to do now?
Yeah, watch me work. It's a piece of cake. Come on. Ambassador! Hey! Hey, Ambassador! Hey, Ambassador, it's me! Murray Resnick! Which one is Swanadooda? Which one is Swanadooda? Hold on! Udwala sana jojo boom boom.
Ungla sana kulu de waza andu.
Ono Honolulu. He's giving me your check is in the mail, Ben. You speak the language. Oh, yeah. The deadbeat language is universal. Unduglu sando what's in the boom boom tasso.
Ungulanga andu kulu what? Kulu you so when everything.
No, do it. Ulusa. Ondo. Do talo.
Ungwan wan sing ding. Ungla wa.
Ungla. Wala sa on.
Ungla ma so.
Ungla so boto.
The ambassador was a tough customer, even for Murray.
See, my credo is, if they give me something, I'll leave them alone.
Resnick next tracked down a diplomat hiding out in a most unusual place.
Vladdy!
He paid off, didn't he?
Pays to be nice, you know.
What about the Latin leader you spoke with on the phone the other day? Did he come across with anything?
Well, no, they still owe us $780 million, but they did give us a little something on account.
And now our regular feature, Angry Arnie.
Hi, Arnie here. You know, if you're like me, there's a lot of little miserable things that people do to just make life intolerable. Wouldn't you like to be able to do something about them, huh? What about these people in supermarkets that leave their grocery carts in the middle of aisles and won't let you get by while they're trying to decide which brand to buy? Wouldn't you just love to do this one time? Doesn't it make your blood boil when you get in the express line and the person in front of you has more than 6 items? Wouldn't you just love to do this? Hey, lady. You obviously have more than 6 items here. Half price. You don't need this. This is much too big. You don't need this. Yeah, looks like you have 6 items now. Don't you feel a lot better? I know I do. How about these guys that write graffiti all over every wall in sight? When you like to catch in the act just once, you could do this. Don't you just hate it when they have excuses written on cars and a little side view mirror says objects in this mirror are a lot closer than they appear to be? Why don't they just build a mirror where the objects look like where they are? Don't you hate it when you die and for 6 months everybody refers to you as the late? Of course you're late. You're dead. You'll probably never get there. I hate it when the post office brings you those little cards that say, we tried to bring you something, but you weren't here. So now you gotta come and get it. Why don't they just bring it back again? They're coming back the next day. They should make vegetables square. They don't fit in the refrigerator right. I hate that. You know, you can do something about these things. Just don't tell them I told you to. This is Arnie saying bye.
Thank you, Arnie. Man has a lot to say, doesn't he?
He holds fairly strong opinions.
So do we. Join us next time for Stopwatch.
30 minutes of investigative ticking.
Too late.
Hace tiempo, pero se llegó el momento de perder. Tú tenías mucha razón, le hago caso al corazón.